Okay. So in this session, we'll discuss about integration of OAF with XML report. Okay.
Okay.
So we know how to invoke a concurrent program, but in this particular session, we'll discuss about just simply invoking the template directly without any involvement of the concurrent program. Okay. So first, what we do is, let me show you the result first, and then we'll construct a similar sample in our particular project. Okay. So that, like we'll try to understand, correlate what we are working on. So I'll just run this one. Okay. So here, if you observe, in this XML report also, there are two types. Okay. One, the second, just observe this one, generate report. Okay. If I click on generate report, what is happening? It is opening a pop-up and it is showing the output in appropriate format. In this particular sample, it is a PDF format. Okay. I'll just save it and we just open. It's an employee report with all HRMS employee data. So in this one, what is happening? When you click on the button, it is showing a pop-up. Okay. This is one kind of report. The other kind of report is here, if you observe. Okay, can you see? Now it is embedding the output. It is embedding the your particular template output. Now I can just select PDF or I can select the other format also. Right? It is simply embedding the output within the browser itself. This is another kind of report. Okay. So this is generally we call it as document viewer region, or you can just say inline report. Okay. One option is generating the output on the fly. Other one is like a, let me write here, output on the fly, or maybe a pop-up or a like a file dialog. Other one is like inline report. Okay. Technically the concept is same, but there are some set of differences we need to work on. Okay. For this one, one is output on the fly, other one is a inline report. So as whenever we want to design any XML report, what we require an XML data, right? For XML report, especially, we require XML data and we require a template, right? In our case, we are using a RTF template. Okay. So here, if you observe, this particular both templates are same, and but how are we getting the XML data? So from the Vivo XML data, what we do is from the Vivo OAF, in the OAF Vivo, we have a method called write XML. For the provided Vivo, when you use the write XML method, it simply generates the XML data. Now here, if you observe, let me clear this content. I'll just click on a button called generate XML. It simply generates the XML content here.
Okay.
So using this particular content, now I'll just copy. So using this particular content, what we do, we'll use this particular content to design our template. And also at runtime, this is the content which will be passed to the template to display the output in appropriate type. Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
Now what we do is, of course, there is a good amount of Java code behind it. Okay. I will not tell that now right away. So what we do is we'll start with step by step. So the first functionality which we have to achieve is generating the content in XML format. The first functionality we have to achieve is generating the content in our XML format and then designing of a template. So what we do is we'll try to incorporate this functionality in our mini project. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So here in our case, right now, let us say, let me run our search page. Assume that like in a search page only, let us say I want to have a output like the way we have invoked concurrent program, right? I just want to have a generate report. But now the problem is like here we have an inline report functionality also, right? So inline report we cannot embed. Now let us say if you want to have this particular embedding functionality also in the search page, it does not look good. What we can do is, on a button event, we'll invoke another page which will have both functionalities, like we'll have a other like a generate report as well as a inline report. Or what we can do is, here I can have two columns. One is like a generate report, other one is like a view inline report. Then when you click on a view inline report, it will go to another page. Okay. So rather than having all those complications, what we can do is, I will have a button here. I'll just simply click on that. It will pass the PO details to another particular one, to another particular what you call a Vivo, and it will have the information there. Okay.
That means it generates the XML file.
We have to do all that stuff. It has to generate report. It has to do all those things. So what I'll do is I'll just create a new page. Okay. OA components. I'll just say Vivo XML report PG. And then set controller. Okay. Okay. So initially what we can do is like without having any search function, let us say we'll generate our PO report for all the set of PO records. Okay. So then later on, you can just simply have the filtering of the Vivo. You can get the data, whichever data we require. Okay. So we require a query, right? So what I'll do is I'll copy this and I'll just modify a little bit. So I'll just copy this one. Okay. And let me just use this one. Okay. I'll just use the same query. Okay. Just change the alias name. So what I will create now, I'll create a new Vivo, which is a read-only Vivo, which is specially for our reporting purpose. Okay. Vivo details, report Vivo. Okay. Now what we require is, so in the PO report page, right? So here, first of all, to design our template, we require an XML data. Okay. So first thing is we'll try to concentrate on the generating XML data from the Vivo. So I'll just create, as of now, I'll just create a new region. In this one, I'll just create one more, so an item with a submit button. Okay. This generate XML data is only for developer purpose. Once the XML data is ready, we should not show this button, or this button is no longer required for the user. So I'll just say generate XML. Okay. This is the button generate XML button. Okay. So now in the PO XML report CVO, page context dot get parameter not equal to null. We need to write the logic. Okay. Now, so go to AMIMPL first. So I'll just use my old logic. So this concept will be same for any kind of XML report stuff. Okay. So it's always a copy paste kind of thing. We just need to understand what we are writing, so that will be enough. So 1 minute. Generate XML. I'll just copy this one. Public void generate your XML data. Okay, so So here, what we need to do is, in our case, it is PO report. What's the name? So get the Vivo object, get Vivo details report Vivo. And after that, see what are we doing is we're just creating a wide array output stream because I just want to generate output stream. This is like a, see, when you are talking about normal variables, you just simply consider integer and all those things and you'll just print it. But when you're talking about binary data, we require the concept of streaming consideration. So what we're doing is we're just creating an output stream object. Then after that, getting the PO instance, and then we are writing our XML data, vivo.write XML, and we have some set of parameters to be passed, dot print output stream. So this XML, this particular vivo.write XML, we are trying to get the content of the XML content of the Vivo, and we are printing that to the output stream object. And once we get the data in the output stream object, then we are printing into the log so that we can get the information in our log, and then we can design our template. Okay, so now, so I'll just write here. Is equal to page context dot. Okay, so this should one more important thing is we need to execute our Vivo, right? So as of now, I have not done that. So let me write initialization method, void init Vivo details. We'll simply call this in a process request. Okay, so we're just calling the initialization method, and after that, when a button is pressed, we are calling a method called generate PO XML data, which will generate the XML content in our console, this log console. So now let's run the page. Okay, we got some exception. Let's see. Okay, I think somewhere this caching was an issue. When you're copy pasting, right? Something happened. So here, if you observe, is it giving line number? Exception Java class cast exception XXMS. So it is, how come XXMS came into picture?
Oh, it is coming MS old.
Yeah, the other project stuff, right? So just see somewhere we copy pasted a mistake. Yeah, mini business services page context. This is correct. Mini business services page context aimed at this one. And here,
MS.
okay, it is saying line number 33. Okay, it's clearly telling what is error. Line number 33 of the XML report CVO, we have to check. Process request method, line number 33. Line number 33. Okay. Okay, so the basic reason could be for the XML reports page. So maybe by mistake, I would have see, can you see the aim definition? That's the issue.
Definition.
Yeah, so always provides a clarity in some of the issues, but yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah. So now, first of all, before generating that, just clear the log and now click on this button. Okay, now it generated the XML data. Just copy this XML data. And now what we do is I'll just paste here. Okay, so now simply save this XML data. I'll just say pivot details XML data.xml. Okay, now I'll just open our Windows Word. Now save this one. Pivot details XML report TMPL. Okay, so now I simply saved this template. Okay, click on add-ins, data, load XML data, pivot details XML data. Now just insert table using a wizard. You can select. I'll just remove who columns as of now. Okay. Now just do a preview, check whether it is working fine or not. Yeah, it's working fine. And now what we do is better I'll save with the XX. Okay, to just see it's a custom report. I'll just name it as XX. So now here we have done our XML data stuff, and this is our template. Okay. Next step is register the template. Now we'll go to my apps instance.
As XML administrator, we need to.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so I'll create a data definition. So I'll just go with these names. Okay, this is my data definition port. Application, I'll select. And date, there is some problem in the training instance. I have to select some old date because there is some date which they have configured for the apps instance. So it will not work if I don't select some old date. Okay, so I have to select this very old date. Now data definition is created. Go to template, create template. So I'll just mention my data definition here. Similarly, very old date. And here also, I'll just go with the same name, no confusion. Object library. Select the template. XX pivot details RTF template. Okay, that's it. So template registration is ready, and the template code is same as well as the data definition short code is also same, so that will not have any confusion at all. Template short name.
Data definitions you attach, right? Data definition .xml file you attach, right?
Data definition XML. Why do you require data definition XML? There is nothing.
No, under data definitions.
Not required. That is a concept here, right? We are providing the XML data from OAF. You don't require any data definition query at all. Just a simple data definition is enough here. No data definition query.
No, here you don't need to attach the file, right? The file which we created.
That's of no use, right?
Okay.
That is only for the purpose of designing a template. That does not have any query.
Yeah,
If at all,
template
if you're,
already we have the template, right? Then okay.
yeah, if you're having a query generally, then you require a data template to be assigned. If you're having a query, then you can assign to data template. But in our case, it is not a query, it's a data. Then you can assign to preview data for the preview purpose. Okay. So now we just simply design our data definition and template. Now the next step is, in our particular PO XML report, we'll just design one more button. We'll create one more button. Generate report. BTN. Generate report. So just copy this button. Okay. So I'll just copy my old low code. So this very complex one, but it's okay. So now here in this generate report button, I'm just considering this if condition. Now let us understand this logic. So it's a SOP, and then we are creating a data session object. And this will require a HTTP servlet response, because when you click on a button, you want to see the output as a kind of, a file dialog. That is where we require a servlet response. This particular OA framework, it is totally based on a Java concept. It involves JSP as well as JSP is nothing but Java server pages as well as servlets. If you observe any of the page, whenever you open, right, it clearly tells OA.JSP. JSP is nothing but Java server pages. Again, JSP is based on servlets. Okay. So now servlet response, and here there are a few things we have to change. Whenever you just copy paste this code, right, there are only very minor things you have to change. The first thing is, what is output file name you want to have it. So now I'll just say PO details report. I'll just change it. And then based on the output extension, you have to change it appropriately. Dynamically also we can change it, but for now we'll just go with static stuff. So then the next thing is, I want to invoke our A method which will generate the XML data, which has to return the XML data. In earlier case, we are simply printing the XML data in the console, right? But now this requires an XML data to be sent as a output from a method, because it is this XML node is a variable which requires XML node content. So now what we do is, like here, a similar method will require like public XML node. I need to create an XML node stuff. I mean the output variable of type XML node, and then PO details XML data. Okay. Now here what we do is the same concept. Okay. And instead of writing the output to the stream, what we do is okay, return XML node object. Okay, so this particular PO details XML data. So I'll just mention here. So you need to have a method which will generate XML data. Okay, this is another one which I have changed. Okay, first change. So I'll write here change 1. Change 2. And other one is the template name. Okay. Template shortcode you need to mention. We don't require any data definition shortcode to be mentioned. You just need to mention the template shortcode. I'll just copy this one, and also application short name. In my case, I have registered under application object library, so it will be FND only. Okay. And this remaining has to be same. Only thing is we just changed only 3 places. One is your particular output file name and the method which gets the XML data. Other one is a template short name. And one more important thing is here, if you observe, I'll just control click on this template helper class. This template helper class belongs to a package called Oracle Apps XDevo. Okay, so some Java libraries here, if you observe, to work this in your system, you require the first thing is require this XDivo library. By default, it will not be available. What we need to do is, let me show you that. So just navigate to application instance, go to your Java top, go Java top. Java top, okay, Oracle apps XDivo, right? So this XDivo folder, simply copy okay, just simply copy the total XDivo folder from the server to the local machine of your JDeveloper My Classes. That's the first setting. And there is one more setting, very important setting. I'll just copy XDivo folder from Java top to My Classes. There is another setting. What we do is, okay, so in the lib folder, right? So the lib folder, from lib folder, you just require an XDivo file, like a XDivo, this one, XDivo 10 zip, copy to My Classes also. This also copy to My Classes, XDivo 10 zip. And after copying this stuff, what we need to do is go to the project properties. On the libraries here, if you observe, you just need to click on add jar or directory. You just select the file which we have. Now in our case, in the My Classes, let us, I have the zip file. Let's select this one. Okay. Once that is selected, it will be available here. Okay. The only extra thing is this zip file, this is required only for 12.2.9. This is only for 12.2.9, but the above step is for both R12.2.3 as well as R12.1.3 as well as 12.2. And the same code works in both instances. There is no difference. Only thing is library is different, but the code is same in both stuff. Okay, this code is same.
Mine is 12.1.3. I don't need the second step, not required.
That is what. So this step is only for 12.2.9, and the first step is for both the instances, and the code is same in both the stuff. And the code which we are working is same for R12.1.3 and R12.2. There is no single line of change in, I mean, comparing to both set of versions. Okay. Now.
But both the folders I should copy, right? Both the folders, zip file as well as the other folder also, XDivo folder.
This
both.
Zip will not be there for R12.1.3. This is only for 12.2.9.
Okay, got it. Zip is not, no need to copy.
It won't be there. I mean, if it is there, also not required, but I hope it won't be there for 12.1.3.
Okay.
Okay. Now, yeah. So, yes, those are the two things initially. But yeah, now let's try to run our report, see how it works. And one more important thing is, generally, whenever we work with this XML report, right, it is always preferable to generate the output in HTML format first. Okay, and then later we can convert to the desired format. The basic reason is, when we work with HTML report, we can understand the error, because it is not always an easy thing. Most of the times we get good amount of errors. So the easiest way to identify the errors is generate the report in HTML format first, and then work with the appropriate your client required output format. I'll just click on generate report. Let's see. So getting the PDF doesn't mean it is success still. So let's save it first and see the content. Until unless you see the content, this is not correct. In our case, it is correct. It is providing an appropriate format without any issue. Okay. Now let's say I want to have the output in the HTML format. What is the change I require? Very simple. You just change this one into HTML. Okay. And there is one more place. Can you see here? Template helper output dot type PDF. Instead of type PDF, we just change it to HTML.
Okay. PDF file here. PDF file is there. No problem. That one.
That is an object. That is a PDF file is an object. That is an object variable name. That's a variable name. Yeah. We'll discuss more on that. I'll tell you. So once you see the HTML, we can discuss what are we passing and what is this template helper API. Okay, now I'll just click on this one, generate report. It has to show HTML. Click on save, okay, and then okay. Then I'll just open this one. Perfect, right? We're able to see the HTML content. So that's the only change you have to do whenever you want to have in a different format. Now comes the important thing. So here, like, let me go through the code one by step. This is for the purpose of servlet response, and we need to create a servlet response object. This is only for the purpose of generating the output as a file dialog. Now, content disposition, we have to mention what output you want to send it. What is the file name you want to set it? So that is the stuff. And this remaining thing we have to follow as it is. And XML node, yeah, this very
attachments. What is here? Attachment and what?
Which one?
This attachments, comma.
No, we have to. This is a very standard code we have to follow.
Oh, attachments means it is not like it's attachment by email. It's not that attachment, correct?
No, it is not that one. It is like in the output stream. In the output stream, you want to send something which is an attachment object. Generate that attached object. It means
that is standard one. Always the same attachment.
Everything you have to follow. We just need to change wherever I mentioned the change.
Okay.
This only file name you have to change it, and the next one is this XML method you have to change it, and the template you have to change it, and based on your output type you have to mention the appropriate changes.
This method is we created for the generating the XML data, correct? This method is this method pivot details.
Yes, that method. Yeah, 1 minute. This network issue again. Okay, very good. So that method is our custom method, which was generating XML data.
Okay.
This is generating an XML data. It is returning an XML node object. Earlier, we have used the dot output stream to print this XML node object as a text content so that we can design our template. But now in this particular method, we require XML node object. This XML node object, if you observe, if you just see scroll by, like we are again printing the output stream. This is not required, but I'm just printing. And now if we just see one more step, the very important step, the template helper dot process template. Here, if you observe, what are we passing? The first thing is we are trying to find out what is our template details. And then this is the input stream. So we are sending the XML node content as a stream to this template helper API. This is an Oracle provided public, in API, like a Java API, which requires your application, your particular application details of your template and the input stream and the output stream. And what is this PDF file here? It is just a generated output file. This is nothing but an output file from this template helper API. This is an output file from the template helper API. And after that, what I'm doing, I'm simply writing this this particular PDF file object. Don't consider this a PDF file. It is just an object name as PDF file. And we are simply sending this particular PDF object as a output stream dot write, output stream dot flash. So here we're just whatever the stream content which we're getting from the template helper API, we're sending it as an output stream to the servlet response. So it's like request response, right? Whenever I click on a button, what happens? The request go to the page and it will give a response. So the request is going to the template helper API. Template helper is reading the stream data and it is sending the stream data to us. So that's the logic behind this particular generate report functionality. Okay. So the next one is the inline report. So here, earlier we observed, right, the sample. So the only difference is it also requires the same set of concept. Okay, but this particular region, right, we don't create this one. This is standard region which Oracle provides. Okay, so now what we do is we require two things. First thing is create a button with the name generate inline report and also make use of this particular document viewer region. Let us see that. So in our pivot details XML report page, so I'll just create one more button. And now there is a standard region, we have to use it. I'll just create a new region. Okay. Now in this one, right, in the standard region, what we need to do is I'll just create one more region under this one. I'll just name it as inline report. Okay, so this region 3, what we do is we just need to extend one of the standard region. Okay, I'll just copy this one till OA. And in this extends property, click here. You just search here. We are using Oracle provided standard region. And here just observe the first one. I hope that should be the one. Yeah, document region, right? Document viewer region dot main region. Simply click on OK. So now what happens is, what do you mean by extend? Nothing but Oracle provided some content. We want to use that in our page. Not only Oracle provided region, you can use any other regions. We call this concept as shared region. Okay. Now, the next thing is next thing is we need to work on the button, right? We need to work on the button. So what was the button name? Generate inline report. So just copy the button name. Go to this one. Yeah. So here, okay, let me get my standard code. One minute. So this is our XML report. Yeah, the name was Go. That's a mistake. Okay. Okay. So now what we require is, again, this also require an XML data. Okay, this also require an XML data. So we already used, we have a method PO details XML data, which gets the XML data. Okay. Now this works in a very different way. The first thing is the button name should be, the button ID should be Go. Okay, the button ID should be Go, then only it will work. The reason is Oracle has designed this such a way that whenever you click on, so here if you observe, right, whenever you click on run, right, so this for this particular button, the ID of that run object is Go. So we have to use the same thing. So in this generate inline report, right, so you just need to use this one as a button ID. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me recheck again. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Now there is one more thing, right? So here, if you observe, this is what we have written for the Go button, for the button. In this one, what happens is when you work with inline report, when you click on a button, it will reload the page. It will reload the page, and in the process request, there is a good amount of code we have to write. Okay, I'll copy that code now. So you just need to copy the same stuff, similar. Okay, so now when you click on a run or a go button, right, it will come here. Okay. Okay, it'll come here, and here we need to write this logic. Okay, you don't require this. Yeah, now let me tell you what we are writing here. What we are doing is, when you're clicking on a go button or like a generate inline report button, what happens is, what are we doing? You're getting the XML node content, and then we are creating a blob domain, getting the output stream. Okay, and then we are printing the blob data in an XML data blob object. Whatever we're doing is we're copying the data from this blob object to a variable called XML data blob. Okay, and after that, as per the concept of that inline region, it will simply reload the page. It will simply reload the page. So even though in our method we have written only this content, but what will happen is when you when you have a button, you are using a shared region. This go button initially will be taken care by our page, and then later taken care by the region. The first page is called, what custom page is called, then the standard region, it will call internally in the standard region. Oracle has written some sort of good amount of functionality which will reload the page, and then our particular page process request will be called. Okay. Now here the only changes we require again is a similar one. You just need to change your application short name as well as the template short code. So this is my template short code. I mean the what do you call? Yeah, this is a data definition short code, and this is my template short code. Okay. So let me write here. This is data definition short code. This is template short code. In our case, it's the same, but if at all, if you have a different thing, you can mention this is your application short name of your template, application short name. And here, what are the size which we mentioned? Yeah, we'll understand once we see the output. And what are we doing here? We are again reloading the page and getting the appropriate what do you call? If you are having a template with a different particular language and all those things, we need to get them appropriately. Okay. And after that, just put all the session content variables here. Okay. And after that, the standard region will be called and it will print the output. Okay. It seems a little bit tricky, but yeah, let's see the output once, and maybe if it does not work, we'll look it again.
XML automatically generates XML file.
Yeah, XML. See here, if you observe, right, what are we doing? Here, if you observe, this put, where was that? Data source type blob. So when you click on a button, we are loading our blob data into one of the variable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that variable is holding the data, and then it considers that information here. So it's like, you know, it's like you click on a button, the content is copied to XML data blob, and you're reloading, the page gets reloaded. And when the page gets reloaded, this particular p underscore data source will have that particular blob content. This all contents will be passed to the document region again. So now what happens is, once the parent process request will be called after this one, right? After this one, the child PR method will be called. Which is a child? I mean to say, in our case, this is shared region. So this here, if you observe PO details XML report, this is shared region. Here, if you observe, it is having its own controller.
Yeah.
So this will be called. So total 80 or 90, 95% of the code is there in this one already. We just setting some of the variables, and then this document viewer CO will take care of the remaining functionality.
Okay. Here in the AM, can you go to AM? AM, there is a name code here. This code here, you know, that what is that XML? That is.
XML node is a class, or it's a class. It's an object.
Okay.
Vivo.write XML is printing the output in XML fashion.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. One minute.
One error is there.
Acha, okay. Yeah, just compiler, class interface, or enum accepted. $96, okay. Okay, I think this is an extra thing or what? No. This is correct only, okay. Just see, this is, yeah, an extra thing came into picture. See, what we generally do is, whenever you have this, there is chance of flower basis mistake, right? Just go to the end of your brace and press Alt left flower basis. It has to go to the appropriate enclosing one. Now for this particular angular bracket or flower basis, right?
Okay.
My cursor is at this position and I want to know where it is ending. So I'll just press Alt right side, right tag. That's it. Alt left, Alt right. It will go to the appropriate blocks. So let's see. It should work. Yeah, still there is some issue. Class enum or enum. Which one? Okay. This is okay. This is okay.
Here still red, it is showing red.
This is sorry. Yeah, this is class. This is a method ending, right? You have a class ending also, is it?
Yeah.
Where is class ending? This has to end somewhere, isn't it? Okay, here itself there is a mistake. Okay, now I'll just enclose this one. Yeah, this is where the extra thing, right? Extra came into picture. Now just see, yeah, now it is correct. Okay, that's the issue. So error says enum or something, but the real issue was different.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Yeah. This inline report is a little tricky one. Okay. So the other one was quite okay. We can understand the concept, but inline report little bit very tricky and yeah.
But in inline report only one punch, only one time, only mostly the just inline report. How?
Yeah. Now if you just see let's say I'll click on run. That's it.
It is HTML. Okay.
PDF. Okay. There is one more important thing I forgot to say, I guess. Yeah. So for inline report, especially inline report for both the versions, EBS 12.13 and 12.29. Okay. So generally this will not work by default. Okay. So you'll get a Java error says that like a document viewer region, a JSP file is missing. So here, if you have, let me show you that. You just need to copy from server. Okay. My classes. Get the OHTML. Go to OHTML. So here in the OHTML, you'll have all the JSPs. Okay. In the OHTML, you'll have JSPs, and this document viewer region requires a document viewer region specific JSP. Okay. So here, if you observe, where are our JSPs? There is some region, I forgot the name. 1 minute. Collapse. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, this one. Xdoc display.jsp. Okay. So what you have to do is from the OHTML, you just get this file, okay, and copy to your OHTML. Copy to OHTML. This is for both the versions, 12.13 and 12.29. Okay. These are the three things you have to take care for this to work perfectly. Okay.
Both, this is both 12.1.
Yes, yes. And the code is same for both of them. So now in this case, let us say if you want to have a parameter, or if you want to have, now in this case, it's like a generic report which is displaying all the pivot data, right? But let us say if you want to have only specific pivot detail, pivot to be passed, what you do is just have a search button and select a pivot, and then like just what we require is just we need to pass a pivot ID. That's the only difference. You just need to pass a pivot ID to the pivot, and the remaining everything is same. You just need to pass a pivot ID to this one. Okay.
This parameter.
Yeah, pivot ID to be passed to this particular pivot details vivo report view. Now for this one, it's generic one, which gets all the data. It's a blind query, right? It just gets all the data. You just need to pass a parameter to this one, and you can get the data of a specific selected pivot rather than all the pivots. That's how we can filter the criteria. Okay.